Nigeria's government has declared Tuesday a public holiday to honor former President Muhammadu Buhari, who died aged 82 in a London clinic on Sunday after battling ill health for years. This public holiday provides an opportunity for all Nigerians to reflect on his life, leadership, and the values he upheld, Nigeria's Interior Minister said in a statement. Muhammadu Buhari ran for president 3 times, 2003, 2007, 2011, before winning in 2015. He was re-elected in 2018. Muhammadu Buhari served as Nigeria's military head of state from 1984 to 1985. He later served as a democratically elected president from 2015 to 2023. Bola Tinubu succeeded Muhammadu Buhari as president on May 29, 2023. Katsina State Governor Dikko Rada, who returned to Nigeria on Monday after being with Buhari's family in the British capital, said Buhari would be buried in his home state on Tuesday. What I have gathered so far is that the corpse will arrive 12 p.m. tomorrow and the burial will happen by 2 p.m., he added. Officials say the funeral, initially expected on Monday, had been delayed for logistical reasons. The former president's remains will be flown directly to Katsina Airport before being moved to their final resting place in his hometown of Dora, 50 miles, 80 kilometers, from Katsina City, Rada said. Buhari's home is already filled with mourners as friends, family, and well-wishers await the arrival of his corpse. The vice president said that Buhari had died after a brief illness without revealing any further details. Even though he is a former president, there will not be a state funeral. In line with Islamic teachings, Buhari will be buried as quickly as possible in a simple ceremony, Islamic cleric Abdullahi Garangamawa told the BBC. Tributes have continued to pour in for the late army general who led Nigeria twice, first as military leader and then as an elected president after becoming the first opposition leader to defeat an incumbent, in 2015. Former President Goodluck Jonathan, defeated by Buhari in 2015, described the late leader as someone who was selfless in his commitment to his duty and served the country with character and a deep sense of patriotism. Former military ruler, General Ibrahim Babangida, who overthrew Buhari in a 1985 coup, also showered praises on the octogenarian. He is a man who, even in retirement, remained a moral compass to many, and an example of modesty in public life, Babangida noted. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is expected to attend the funeral prayer in Dora, has declared a 7-day national mourning period in honor of his predecessor. In an official condolence statement released on Sunday evening, Tinubu said the nation would pay its final respects to the former leader with dignity and honor, starting with the lowering of all national flags to half-mast across the country from Sunday. Muhammadu Buhari, born December 17, 1942, Dora, Nigeria, died July 13, 2025, London, England, was a Nigerian military leader and politician who served as Nigeria's military head of state in 1984-85 and later as a democratically elected president in 2015-23. Education and military service. Educated largely in Katsina, Buhari took military training in Kaduna as well as in Great Britain, India, and the United States. He was involved in the military coup that ousted Yakubu Gowon in 1975 and was appointed military governor of northeastern state, now Borno, that same year. He was appointed Federal Commissioner for Petroleum Resources by Gen. Olusegun Obasanjo, who became military head of state when Gowon's successor, Murtala Mohammed, was assassinated in 1976. By 1977 Buhari had become the military secretary at Supreme Military Headquarters, which was the seat of government. By September 1979 he had returned to regular army duties and commanded a division based in Kaduna. Although civilian government had returned to Nigeria in 1979 with the election of Shehu Shagari, dissatisfaction with dismal economic conditions and what the military perceived as corrupt politicians led to another military coup on December 31, 1983, and Buhari was chosen unanimously to be the new head of state. Military head of state. Many of the economic problems that had existed under the Shigeri administration also plagued the Buhari regime, and Buhari instituted austerity measures. He took a tough stance on corruption. During his tenure, hundreds of politicians and business officials were tried and convicted or awaited trial on corruption-related charges. His regime launched the War Against Indiscipline, a program which sought to promote positive values in Nigerian society, although authoritarian methods were sometimes used in the program's implementation. In an effort to stop dissent against his policies, Buhari instituted restrictions on the press, political freedoms, and trade unionists. Although many Nigerian citizens had initially welcomed Buhari's efforts to root out corruption and improve societal values, the repressive measures employed by his regime, against a backdrop of continuing economic troubles, led to discontent. By August 1985 even the military had had enough, and on August 27 Maj. Gen. Ibrahim Babangida took control of the government. Buhari was detained in Benin City but was released at the end of 1988. Political aspirations. In 2003 Buhari ran for president and was defeated by the incumbent, Olusegun Obasanjo of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Buhari ran again in 2007 but was defeated by the PDP's candidate, Umaru Yar'Adua, in an election that was strongly criticized by international observers as being marred by voting irregularities. Buhari also stood in the 2011 presidential election, which was praised for largely being transparent, free, and fair, but he again lost to the PDP's candidate, incumbent Goodluck Jonathan. In 2014 the All Progressives Congress, APC, party nominated Buhari to stand as its candidate in the 2015 presidential election. His reputation for being incorruptible and his military background made him an attractive candidate, whom many Nigerians hoped might be able to more effectively handle the threat posed by the Islamic militant group Boko Haram, whose violent acts had terrorized parts of the country in recent years. The March 28 presidential election had 14 candidates, although the real contest was seen as being between Buhari and Jonathan, who was again the PDP's candidate. In what was Nigeria's most closely fought election ever, Buhari garnered the most votes, some 2.5 million more than Jonathan, his closest competitor, and was declared the winner. His win marked the first time that the incumbent president had been defeated in Nigeria. Buhari was inaugurated on May 29, 2015. Presidency. Progress under Buhari was mixed. His presidency had a rough start, with the country falling into recession in 2016 in part because of declining revenue from oil sales. By 2018 there was evidence of some economic recovery from the recession, although many Nigerians were still living in extreme poverty. The struggle with Boko Haram factions continued. While the military initially experienced success in curbing the groups, the militants bounced back, and attacks escalated. Furthermore, Buhari's government faced security threats in the southeastern part of the country from militants seeking to disrupt oil production as well as from Biafran secessionists. His administration's war on corruption was both praised for its progress and criticized for focusing more on political opponents than on allies. Throughout this period, Buhari's health, and hence his ability to lead Nigeria, were called into question after he repeatedly went abroad for health care. In 2017 alone, he left the country multiple times for treatment of an undisclosed medical ailment. That year, he was absent more than 5 months altogether, during which time his vice president was in charge. The lack of transparency regarding Buhari's health and his extended absences led to rumors that he had died and been replaced by a body double. Buhari and his administration dismissed the concerns about his health, and he was named the APC candidate for the February 2019 presidential election. Buhari faced more than 70 challengers in the election, which was originally scheduled to be held on February 16 but was delayed at the last minute until February 23. He emerged victorious, winning re-election with some 56% of the vote. Buhari was constitutionally limited to serving 2 terms as president. When he stepped down on May 29, 2023, he was succeeded by the winner of the 2023 presidential election, the APC Spola Tinubu. Muhammadu Buhari, December 17, 1942 to July 13, 2025, was a Nigerian politician who served as the President of Nigeria from 2015 to 2023. A Major General in the Nigerian Army, he was the military head of state of Nigeria from December 31, 1983 to August 27, 1985. Buhari ran for President of Nigeria on the platform and support of the All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP, in 2003 and 2007, and on the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, platform in 2011. In December 2014, he emerged as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress Party for the 2015 general election. Buhari won the election, defeating incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. It was the first time in the history of Nigeria that an incumbent president lost a re-election bid. He was sworn in on May 29, 2015. In February 2019, Buhari was re-elected, defeating his closest rival, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, by over 3 million votes. Buhari died aged 82 in the United Kingdom on July 13, 2025. Thank you for watching this video.